Hey there, welcome to another episode of Legends with Elroy. Today I'm excited to tell you another story about Billy Bob the Knight. Now this story starts as Billy Bob was taking a bath. As Splash Splash, I was taking a bath. All about a Saturday night. Someone's at the door. So Billy Bob made his way over to the door, and he opened it, and there before him was Stanley the skunk and Porky. Now Porky was a porcupine, not a pig. And Billy Bob said, "Whatever are you two doing today?" And Porky said, "Billy Bob, we just recently got a new neighbor." There's this creature that moved in, and me and Stanley, we're on the housewarming committee. We welcome all the people that move in to the kingdom. And, well, this person moved in, and it turns out that he's quite a large creature, and, we're pretty small creatures, and we thought it might be helpful if you introduce yourself with us. And Billy Bob said, "Well, why do you need my help?" And Porky said, Well, okay, it's not necessarily that we're scared or nervous to meet him, but when you do meet him, we will be in the bushes, hiding, because we might need to check, and we're scared, and we need your help to meet him, because we don't know, he could be mean. Billy Bob said, "Oh, but I can help you guys out. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I can join just so that we can be sure nothing bad is gonna happen." So they made their way. Of course, Billy Bob, changed out of his bath towel, because he was in the bath before, so knights don't go out fighting in bath towels. I hear that a lot of people think they do, and I think, what stories have they been reading? I mean, have you ever read about King Arthur running around fighting people in his bath towel? I didn't think so. But anyways, so Billy Bob and his buddies, Porky and Stanley, made it to the house where this creature was living. It was a nice house, very, very nice place that a good family would live in. They were sure of that. Now they just had to meet the family. And Billy Bob knocked on the door, and it was opened, and there before him was a great big creature. It had blonde fur, and it had a great shaggy mane. That's like, hair, but that's thicker. It's kind of like a horse's mane, but much bigger. Because this, my friends, was a lion. And it opened its mouth and it yawned. Hello there. My name is Lenny the Lion. And who are you all? Billy Bob said, "My name is Billy Bob the Knight. And with me here..." Well, I know you don't see my friends. I mean, I know you saw them when the door was open, but they ran away. Anyway, somewhere in the bushes back there is a skunk named Stanley and a porcupine named Porky. Oh, look, Stanley's not in the bushes all the way. He's just a little further back. Yeah. Anyways, we wanted to meet you and welcome you to the neighborhood. Porky, can you bring the cookies? And he could hear in the background, "I'm just scared." Porky came up, and he handed what was left of the cookies to Billy Bob, who then handed them to Lenny the Lion. And Lenny said, "Billy Bob the Knight, you say? I've heard legends about you. There was a pirate, Captain Eggbeater, who was going around the seas, and he was about to raid the ship I was on when I heard that he went to fight a knight. But I figured whoever would fight him could never make it out of that scenario. But then later on I heard that you had won him over in a singing competition? And Billy Bob said, well, yes, it was just I sang a shanty. It wasn't really a competition, but I sang and he liked it, and we were friends. And he actually still sends me cards every year letting me know how the crew is doing. Apparently they're doing quite well. But the thing is, we wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood. So thank you for moving in, and if you need anything, we would love to help you out. So you just let us know. And Lenny thanked them, and then they all went their own separate ways. But the next day, they had the opportunity to invite Lenny to play with them. They were gonna play a game of kickball. Now, kickball is kind of like baseball, but what you do is you roll a ball, and instead of swinging a bat, you kick it. So, it's like if you were doing soccer, but on a baseball field, and you got to pick up the ball in order to pitch it. And you got to pick it up in order to throw it. And there's a lot of throwing that you don't get to do in soccer, unless you're a goalie. But I digress. So anyways, they were playing kickball, and they were kicking it, and it was time for Porky to kick. And he kicked it, and it was a home run. It just sailed off into the distance. And it also went right through the window. Well, right through the window, like not through it, but it like hit the window of Lenny's house, and then it bounced off deep into the woods. Now these woods happen to be quite dark. And so Porky was like, oh, Lenny, do you want to get that because you're closer? And Lenny was like, Porky, yes, of course I will get it. I will go right now. Now you see, Lenny was a great big lion, very big, very tall, and very powerful. But the thing about Lenny is he was a wee bit scared. And so every time he would walk up to the forest, he would act like he forgot something so he didn't have to go in. He'd say, oh, I forgot. I have to go check and see if I have any food cooking on the stove. I'll be right back. If one of you grabs the ball while I'm gone, don't do it. But then he would come back and no one would have grabbed it. So then he would make up another excuse and he'd be like, I got to go water the plants. I'll be right back. And he did this about 5 or 6 times. He had to, the watering the plants thing, as well as, the cooking thing. He had to wash the dishes. He had to fold his bath towel. He even said something about having to fix his roof. That guy got a lot done that day. Now, finally, after a while, Porky said, Lenny, we need to get that ball because we need to keep playing. And Lenny said, okay, well, you saw exactly where it went, so why don't you come with me? Now, Billy Bob was watching the whole thing, and he thought that maybe they were kind of scared, but he knew there was nothing scary in the forest, and so he thought, I'll see what happens. So, Porky and Lenny started walking into the forest, walking along. It's awfully dark in here, isn't it, Lenny? I mean, it's not scary though, because, I'm a porcupine. And, us porcupines, we're good fighters. And people understand that, so they leave us alone. What was that noise? And Lenny was like, oh, I understand. Exactly. Us lions, we're similar. I fight things all the time. And of course, I'm not scared of anything. What? Did someone step on a twig? So, they walked along, and they were quite scared the entire time. Again, they were walking, and Porky heard a bird. He's like, dragon, dragon. And of course, Lenny heard it, and he also thought it was a dragon. But it wasn't a dragon. It was a bird. Like a sparrow. Like those little guys. Very small. And so they got their composure back, and they got to the ball. And right when they went to grab the ball, something darted past. What was that? They thought for sure it was a troll. And so they ran back and they grabbed Billy Bob and they brought Billy Bob to the forest. And they said, Billy Bob, have your sword drawn and be ready. Okay, are you ready, Billy Bob? Lenny said, Billy Bob, I would lead the way, but I might fight too hard if I'm in the front. So why don't you lead the way? So Billy Bob got in front and he walked up to the ball. And there in front of it was a creature. A great big mouse. So, like that. It wasn't a troll. It was Miles the mouse. And he said, hey, Billy Bob, how you doing? I tried to say hi to your friends, but they ran away. And at this point, Miles' face turned a completely different color. And Porky, well, he wasn't even around. He was already hiding in a tree eating. And then he heard what they were saying and he came down. He's like, I knew it was a mouse the whole time. Oh, are you sure it's a mouse, Lenny? It could be one of those trolls that acts like a mouse. And it's a mouse. Okay. It was a mouse the whole time. That last statement he made, he actually spoke directly to Miles the mouse. And Miles was like, yes, I know I'm a mouse, but okay. But anyways, Miles gave them the ball back and he joined for the rest of the game. And it was a whole lot of fun. Lenny is a nice guy, is what they all decided. And they decided that they would all spend a lot more time together. But Billy Bob realized if it came to being scared, that Porky and Lenny would always be ready to join. But anyways, Billy Bob and his friends made their way to their separate homes. And finally, Billy Bob laid in bed. And he fell asleep. What was that? It was the door. But that, my friends, is a story for another day. Well, I'll see you all in the next episode of Legends with Elroy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.